Nagelsmann is the latest individual who, it seems, will not be going to Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal Invincible Martin Keown is alongside Simon and myself. So Simon, let's break it down. And this actually gets us to the point of all this. So Conte's gone. Whatever happened, Conte's gone. And I don't think Spurs fans are shedding many tears over that now with the passing of time. Pochettino's not coming. No. It's not going to be Pochettino 2 at Tottenham. Nagelsmann's not coming. So tell us all, if you're Levy, and you know how the man works, but say it was you, how would you operate now in the space that you're in?
In an ideal scenario, I wouldn't be too much worried about the background noise, and I wouldn't be too much worried about the last few games in this season, because it's done. And whilst I'm disappointed, once the top four's gone, I know that my initial motivation for being prepared to endure Conte's tripe rather than put him in his place has now fallen on infertile ground. He's gone. I am not able to get in a top four. So I need to make a decision now. I've brought in Nuno Espirito Santo, which was a disaster. I brought him on the back of a sporting director that thought that this was a decent fit. I don't know why I agreed with it. I looked at Mourinho, thought he's a winner. Okay, there probably was always challenges with Mourinho. And I brought in Conte, and it's gone all pear-shaped. So I know now, beyond all time, there's a narrative building up around me. I need to make sure I get the right decision. When do I need to do this? Do I need to do it to make sure that the press is satisfied that someone's in the door, so I can have people that don't really know what they're talking about opine on what I've done? Or I can really make a considered decision saying, with all the aspects in mind about the moving parts, like player transfers that need to be dealt with, like players that are under contract that need to be re-signed, I need to be probably in situ by the middle of June at my latest, in terms of having a proper manager. Now, what do? Do I want to go for Vincent Kompany? How do I go for Vincent Kompany if that's what I want to do? He's under contract with Burnley. So I go and ask him if he wants to come and talk to Spurs, and all of a sudden Vincent Kompany sets his relationship on fire with Burnley. That doesn't happen. So I've got two choices. I either start approaching football managers that are in position with football clubs, or I start looking at the market for people that are available, like Nagelsmann or whoever else. Do I want to go back to Pochettino? Well, there was a reason why my relationship failed with Pochettino first time round. So am I going to recreate that reason? Is it going to manifest itself again? Or are we going to get second time lucky that he's actually going to win something for me? Because that's the thing I've got to do next. I've got to win something. And winning something isn't just inside the top four, albeit I think it is, because it wins something financially for Spurs. So my answer to the question is, I would have a short list of 3 or 4 managers, maybe 5, 2 or 3 of them that are available, 2 of them that were in employment, and look at what I had in my hands, look at what the accusations that have been made of me. Because there's no doubt, people that are stupid and don't listen, there's no doubt that Daniel Levy is culpable for this. He's the chairman of the football club. But he's not the only person that's culpable for it. If you put people in place, one thing they'll say to chairman is, put people in place, get your nose out, right? Now all of a sudden, it's everything Daniel Levy does everything. Make your mind up. Then it's a different situation. So with that in mind, Daniel has got to be responsible for a large amount of the decision-making process is an element of the outcome. But he's not on an island on his own for that. That's cheap shots being made at one individual. That's why I defend him, not so because I'm his mate.
Who else is with him in that then?
The manager's with him, the players are with him, the director of football are with him. Now, the argument then can go up to a proper grown-up level, which is who appointed these people. And that's where Daniel can get no support from me or anybody else, because he made those decisions. And he failed to get from people like Paratici the right recruitment of managers, the right culture inside those managers, if you're sat with Conte, he spent so long wanting Conte. We knew he wanted Conte. We knew he wanted Conte before he got Nuno Espirito Santo. Right? He gets him in, it's a disaster. Jettisons him quick, gets Conte. What kind of conversations are these fellas having? Because with due respect to Daniel and I, we're very different animals. If I'm sat with Conte and I'm saying to him, I want you to come, but let's be clear, son, you ain't doing me no favours. You're here to do a job. I've got a culture inside this football club that's not winning anything, and I need you to go with it. And we're going to build.
When I look at the the Spurs story, I just think this is a case of like they've got the wrong priorities, because it's not about places, it's about people. And with Spurs, I see this incredible training ground. Honest to God, it's manicured to out of sight. You see a beautiful ground. They're going to do all this stuff with the rugby world of the American football.
No, that's just revenue.
A great business model. But what about the people in the building? You've got to find the right people, otherwise you're not going to be successful. And that's what comes down to Daniel Levy.
And that's
if it's down to singular judgment from him.
Recruitment. Do you think Tony,
getting it wrong?
Okay. Let's. Do you think Tony Bloom recruits the players at Brighton? Because I bet you he doesn't. I think he probably gets an understanding from the director of football as to what they are, because with due respect, he won't know more than others. And what you guys do...
Yeah, but Tony Bloom appointed De Zerbi.
And there's the question we need to ask. It's about key appointments being made and what people expect. So when you put Conte in, you genuinely do not expect Conte to say the same things 18 months later that other people have said. Because you'd at least expect him to say, I've wrung this rope, right? I can't get any more blood out of this stone. I've got them the best I can. What he said is the same as everybody else said. So you've had zero impact. You did zero difference. In fact, you made them worse.
You got me to the Champions League.
And there's one get out of jail card for him in that particular conversation. And then you move on to the observation that you just made there. Where if you had a functioning football team and you weren't able to do certain things at a certain level, the next thing you'd say is, well, why haven't I got a training ground? Or why haven't I got this? Because we've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer popping up with his little two-penneth about what the Glazers should be doing. Oh, it's a stadium now. This is the team I want, and it's a training ground. So whatever you haven't got in a football club is the reasons why someone else is responsible for your outcomes.
And what's the most important thing to have? Trophies in the cabinet, no?
Well, of course.
You can have this shiny stadium.
Well,
what do you want, trophies
there's
or
only
not?
so many clubs that can win.
Priorities are wrong.
There's only so many clubs that can win trophies. So with that...
Spurs are one of them.
Simon, the bottom line is this on
against who?
Tottenham. Daniel
In the cups,
cannot
yes.
afford another botched appointment.
Well, he can afford what he wants.
It's on the line now.
He can afford,
No. He can't.
Hold on. He can afford what he wants if he's prepared to listen to the brickbats that come with the next wrong decision. Because you ain't getting him out. Neither are you.
No one's
neither are me.
indispensable.
And neither are the Spurs fans.
No one's
But we're not
indispensable.
talking about getting him out. But Simon, the next
He owns
appointment's
the
got to
club
be right.
with Joe Lewis.
Have
So
you
you're
got
not getting him
somebody
out.
Really?
off the top of your head? Take me to
No, not really.
Take me
Factually.
to the 12 noon bulletin. Who would you appoint?
Don't know.
Think about it in this next break.
Sound like Daniel Levy here.
We're coming up to 12 noon.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.